My aim with the team was really, okay, we wanted to increase the power reserve, but we don't want to redo the full conception. So that was the biggest challenge for the team.
Hi Watchtime Community, wir sind bei den Geneva Watch Days und ich bin hier bei Frederique Constant mit Niels Eggerding, the CEO. Nice to see you again.
Very nice to see you. Very good.
Good.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
We have seen some novelties. You presented 3 new lines, kind of. Can you talk about the inspiration a little bit?
So last year, well, let's go back a bit of time. 5-6 years ago, I started the job to take over, let's say, the helm of the managing the group, Frederique Constant Alpina. And in that time, I had the inspiration to elevate the brand Frederique Constant, in particular with a new collection. That's the Highlife, sport chic. We wanted to have 3-year rhythm to communicate on that collection. And then, let's say, back in 2021-22, we said, okay, now we have to go back to Classic Manufacture. Needs to be redesigned. The classic case was in that time 42, quite big size. And my team was instructed, and we did together a complete new design of a 40mm case, even 39. This you have seen in last year's launch, 39mm tourbillon, high-end. After that, 35th years anniversary with a big date, power reserve Moonphase, new caliber. And this year, I was very happy that we went back to the entry price Manufacture. And we did that with a new package. 72-hour power reserve, 5 years warranty, 40mm case, full package. Very well accepted at Watches and Wonders. Then Geneva Watch Days, we do something more exclusive. And there we go to 2 exceptional pieces. Talking pieces, very limited editions, white gold. But also you can see entry price that we focused.
Okay. What would you say, how does Frederique Constant aim to position itself with the novelties and what you talked about just before in the competitive luxury market? Like, where do you position yourself? You know, like with having those both
Manufacture and quartz, you mean, the both together?
Yeah, and not even quartz and manufacture, but also like on the, you know, like the very exclusive white gold and the normal price range.
I think manufacture has always been very important for us because we are a young brand, and that manufacture spirit, that innovative drive, made us very independent in terms of design, unlimited growth potential. You don't get forced to buy just a limited number of movements, but you can really decide how many movements you produce. So that spirit is embodied in the brand. And we are actually the only one, I think, the only one who are capable of doing it in large scale. So that's very important. Now, listening to the consumer, they really liked to have, to some extent, more exceptional pieces in the last years. We jumped on that with really also our business model. Still keep it accessible. Is it our core business? No, it's not our core business, but it's a very pleasant job to be inspired to make some beautiful timepieces.
Okay. Let's talk about one of them or all of them at the end.
Yeah.
How about we start with the tourbillon and the aventurine dial?
Yeah.
It's a big trend at the moment, to be honest.
True.
Where do you, like, how do you source that kind of material and ensure the quality?
Okay. The stone dials, they come from, let's take the aventurine. Aventurine dial is a stone dial, but reworked as a composite to bring the glittering up.
Yes.
So it's a pretty much known stone dial in the industry, typically because of the glittering. It's a Swiss-made dial, but they source the stones mostly from Africa. And this one is a 39mm case, white gold. Last year we had platinum. This time we focused on white gold, 39mm case, 36 pieces limited edition. But because of the clean design of dial, it really comes out very beautiful.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
You like it?
I really like it, yeah. I mean, as I said, it's a big trend, and it definitely helps, I think, for the positioning and the awareness, you know, like to be one of the first to be in the high of the trend, you know, like, and not everyone else following.
Yeah, sure. Well, you see a lot of aventurine already for a few years.
Yeah.
But I think the beauty of what we have been done is that putting it into a 39mm case tourbillon. 39mm case tourbillon doesn't exist much in any other brands. It's mostly bigger.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful size.
Thank
Let's
you.
jump to the another exceptional dial, which is the malachite. What would you say? How would you say is it like the bringing both together in the aesthetics and the mechanics?
So
Because the manufacture also was reworked from the movement.
yeah.
So what was the?
This collection is for us typically very DNA driven.
Yes.
It's one of the entry price Manufakturkalibers we have. You have the 706 pointer date, starting around 3,295. 72-hour power reserve, 5 years warranty, 40mm classical case, very classical for the brand, but also if you look at the design of dial, very modern. 716 with a Moonphase is a more higher end at 3,895. So, but very, very much DNA driven by the Moonphase we have. We launched the product line. We wanted one talking piece that really elevates this collection. And malachite green, our color is green, the brand's color, and malachite is a more brighter green stone dial. I really find it exceptionally. What we did with this piece, 36 piece limited edition, we also adjusted the color of the Moonphase. So it's a dark green Moonphase applied to a malachite dial. So that makes it exclusive.
Okay, and you just said it. It's like nearly doubled the power reserve.
Yeah.
You have a 5-year warranty on it. What were the key challenges in developing this new generation of manufacture movement in order, to meet a new standard of what people want?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So for me, it's key to not change too much on the movement because it is an industrialized movement that proves the quality, but also gives us the opportunity to price it accessible.
Yes.
So my aim with the team was really, okay, we wanted to increase the power reserve, but we don't want to redo the full conception. So that was the biggest challenge for the team. They only adjusted 5% of the components we have internal of the movement to give the barrel more space. The barrel space had more space, but also the barrel we bought is more smaller in terms of spiral, but gives you that extra power reserve. And then on top of that, you want to keep it the 4 hertz, because many brands reducing the hertz and the precision. We wanted to keep that 4 hertz outcome, that accuracy, and with that, we are very comfortable to give also a 5 years warranty. So
that's really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Good. And then we have a third edition. It's the Classic Small Seconds. It's a quartz movement.
Yeah.
A nice design, very elegant. What would you say? And it's like pays homage to the Art Deco era a little bit, because it has the design of this rectangular. And how does this collection reflect the brand's approach of blending vintage design into a modern contemporary watchmaking?
So we have always been very classical as a brand. I think sometimes you need to have a bit of luck, and today's trend is for the younger generation Y and Z. They really like that vintage look.
Yeah.
They really like a bit more smaller design, classical. So we looked at the consumers, the need. We looked at also the younger luxury group, and we clearly saw that positioning of this watch fitting perfectly there to attract that audience. Because if you want to continue to be strong as a luxury brand, that audience is very important. And we priced it for $895. So this watch starting for $895. It's a quartz model, so it also justified the lower price. But with that, it's still very competitive price. If we look today at the coat shoes, easily you spend so much money. So this starts to be, I don't want to overreact because it's still a lot of money, but it could be an impulse purchase for many people when they see the watch. And that's happening with this. It's one of the biggest hits that we have this year. First of all, it's entry price. It's below 1,000, but it's very suitable in terms of unisex, gents, and ladies.
And what would you say, is because it's using quartz, and in the luxury watchmaking, quartz versus automatic, there's
Yeah.
quite, a battle about it.
I know, especially in Germany, though.
And especially in Germany, that's true. How do you ensure that the Classic Carré Small Seconds maintains its luxury appeal despite using quartz caliber?
I think Germany is an exception with a few more countries in the world where they're very equipped with knowledge as consumer. They're very industrial with the background of the country. Germany has a big industry, a lot of engineers. There you can see that manufacture automatics are much more attractive for that market. Nevertheless, there are many countries where they don't have that knowledge or they don't necessarily need an automatic. That's where quartz pops up. To keep the strength of a luxury timepiece for us is just in the finishing of details. It's like, don't go too extreme in price, just don't overlook the high finishing of details, that it still continue to connect with your collection.
Okay, good. And what would you say, like, now we've seen 3 novelties, and 2 of them are limited editions.
Yes.
So limited editions are like highly anticipated and sought after by collectors. What role do these exclusive releases play in shaping the brand's identity and the relationship to collectors?
In the past 5 to 6, 7 years, I would say, collectors, influencers started to be important to start to communicate, because digital has been taking its, we don't have to discuss that, but it has been a very dominant place in communication. And these kind of pieces are picked up by influencers, by watch connoisseurs that are happy to talk about it on the media. With that, you target it already right away and positioning in your watch consumer that they are going to like and see the first touch of that watch. Then, of course, this is an exceptional piece.
Yeah.
They like to talk about it, but it's still pricey.
Yeah.
Because you talk about the higher price. And then, besides that, we have in the new collection also the entry price points. So I think the communication flow is very important to have that high influenced person starting to influence a bigger group. Then they are inspired to your brand. And it's up to them to buy a watch.
And looking ahead, how does Fragrance Constant plan to innovate while staying true to its heritage and to the core lines and, to the whole appeal of bringing both sides and shining both sides?
Yeah, sure. That's not an easy. We are a multiple brand. It means we are acting from the course from 1,000 to 4,500. We have the Wool Timer on a very accessible price, one of the best-selling Manufakturkalibers we have. This as an entry price Manufacture, the 706, 716 comes in just shy below. It's for us very important that we are continue to develop on every element. So even on entry price quartz, there's a new development coming. So something interesting to share for next year. I cannot say, but you will see if you visit us next year. And we will continue to push the boundaries on the manufacture level. Okay. So every year you will see something new, something fresh coming into the collection from the manufacturer that it has that innovative spirit.
That's nice. Looking forward to it. Great. We had some interviews in the past. I always have some more personal or like emotional questions for the relationship with watches. And time is often described as the most valuable, resource.
Yeah.
How does your brand reflect this notion in the craftsmanship and design of the watches?
That's a very difficult question to answer. I'm super open and transparent about personal questions. I find time super valuable. If you ask me, or I will ask you tomorrow, do you like to have $1 million in your bank account? You probably would say yes. If I would tell you you have 1 day left, you say no. So every day is worth $1 million. This I cannot describe in. So the time is for me super important, but very difficult to bring that emotion back into a timepiece. It's all about emotion for me. Yeah. It's all about wearing a watch with a pleasure, feeling attracted to the beauty of a watch. So my emotional approach to a watch, I'm very product oriented, is to bring a lot of passion to the finishing of a product. And hopefully the consumer sees that. That's my only element that I can push into the emotional touch to it.
That's nice. And watches are also often seen as the extension of one's personality.
Yeah, true.
What would you say, which watch catered to your personality the most?
What is the closest to my personality? I'm wearing a perpetual calendar. This is one of my babies because it's the High Life. This is a 2020 perpetual calendar gold launch we did, so quite high end. But I would say still the world timer is much more closer to what I am. I'm traveling a lot. It shows you a lot on the dial. It's not very high priced. You have a nice world timer already around €4,000. That's where I also like. I don't like to have super expensive pieces, but I think that's a very nice priced product.
Yeah.
And it tells you a lot by traveling. It gives you a GMT time function. So that's really the most is close to my personality.
Okay, that's nice. Thank you for the interview.
No, thank you for coming.
Thank you for showing us the novelties. Danke und mehr Videos gibt's auf watchtime.net.